So right behind me, there's obviously some very patriotic music going on. Ukrainians are very patriotic people, all right? So anyway, I'm on my way to see some sort of prison, all right? And it was like where they housed political people. A lot of Jews were imprisoned there. Lots of people died. It's a place of a lot of suffering. And that's all I know about it, to be honest. But if you want to find out a little bit more about it, like I do, stick around. Hi, my name is Steve Morgan, and from the age of 16, when I left home, I've had some crazy adventures. It's been the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's why I decided to do Morgan's World, to share those journeys with you. To keep up to date with my life's journeys, please like and subscribe to my channel below. Welcome to my world. Could barely get my words out back then, and that's what happens when you have a breakfast buffet and it includes champagne. I had about 7 or 8 glasses this morning. Yep, anyway, hopefully I'm walking in the right direction. So I don't see any signs for the place anywhere, but I have come across this monument, and maybe that's indication that the prison is nearby. So my hunch was right, that that monument might have something to do with it. But I got to tell you, everybody I found that spoke English had never heard of this place. They do not know a clue about this museum. And back in the day, this building, well, people wouldn't have talked about it. You know, people just came here to disappear. And it's funny, you know, because it's not used for those purposes any longer, but people still just don't know about the place. Weird, eh? Okay, so I've just entered the place, and this is what it looks like. Whoa, pretty spooky, eh? God knows what this place would have been like. And this would have been where they got their food or whatever, you know. There's like a little hatch. Just lock, put it down, and yeah, I mean, well, they still have those in prisons today, don't they? They have something similar in the mental hospital I work in. Not for me, the patients that misbehave. So a rough guide to this place is it would have been like built around the 1890s, and it was used by Polish. It was the Polish that first built it, and then the Nazis occupiers and the Soviet occupiers put their prisoners there. And these are probably the pictures of some unfortunate people that ended up with their demise, being actually shot here. They used to have mass executions, and I guess these are some of the people that would have carried out those executions. Well, and I've got to tell you, if you're ever in Lviv, you've got to check this place out, because it didn't even cost me anything. I mean, I was prepared to pay because I was just really curious about it. But it has not cost me a penny, and I've got absolutely free roam of this place. How cool is this? And it would have been local civilians that would have had their demise here. I know a lot of Jewish people were executed here, and if you look at some of these pictures, well, they don't look like they were probably Jewish, because you can see the priest and the crosses, but there are some families very distraught The picture over there, this is just a guess. I'm imagining these are locals that had to view it. They were probably forced to take a look at what went on here. Just like the local German population had to, outside the concentration camps, they were made to look. Right there, it looks like it's somebody's office. That probably would be the warden, I imagine. The investigator office. That's what the sign says. Whoa. And there you go. Probably exactly, I had no idea. This is my first time being in this room, but I think I kind of nailed it. You know, people were probably forced to see what went on. Whoa. Some more pictures of some unfortunate people that would have had their demise here. Not sure what this is. So some lady that does actually work here has pointed out to me that these would be the names of all the executed prisoners, and there would be lots of them. Just a room full of archives of what kind of equipment and stuff they would have used back in those days. Okay, I'm going to take a walk up these steps. You can just kind of picture how awful it would have been for some of these prisoners. And then the lucky ones that survived, it would have been a blessing if they could ever leave the cell. I can tell you, I have a little insight to this. I was once in an immigration prison. And anytime they had a call for church, I made sure I went to it just so I could leave the cell and listen to people that spoke English. I just needed to take steps. It was awful, but not as awful as what it would have been for these guys here. Now I'm just looking at the pictures and I do not speak or read any Russian or Ukrainian, whatever language it is in. And maybe somebody could help me if they do, you know, they could point, you know, tell me in the comments. But I'm looking at that picture there and that looks like Lenin. So maybe Lenin had something to do with this. Maybe he oversaw it. I know all over the Soviet Union, they had the gulags and just places where people disappeared. Even if you were patriotic, but there was any sort of suspicion or paranoia that you were not on the right side, that's it. You disappeared. No questions asked. So there is a few more floors, but it's all fenced off. And I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to take pictures for whatever reason. And this kind guy that works here is going to show me what's on the other side of this room. But this is the outside to this place. It's got vehicles there now, and you can see like a courtyard and yeah, just vehicles. But this would have been where people were executed, like in some of the pictures, and some of the people were even buried here. So in memory of all the people here in this prison, you know, you can just kind of feel the, I don't know if there's an afterlife or anything, but it's just so spooky, you know, it's just like, it could be haunted. You can just imagine, you just kind of like still hear the screams, even though there are no actual screaming going on now. You can just picture it. And in memory of them, I take my hat off to you, and may your souls all rest in peace. And I just signed a book of remembrance, just saying for their souls to rest in peace. And the good news for me is I am getting to leave this place, but a lot of people didn't. Thank you very much, sir. That was lovely. Really enjoyed that. Oh, well, if you know what I mean, I'm sure I enjoyed it in a, you know, in a way that I love history. So as I leave the place, this is another view of the outside. It is pretty massive. It's a lot bigger than what I originally thought it was, but only part of it is still used as a museum. I have no idea if the rest of this building's in use. I'm sure a lot of it is just probably desolate and in decay, but pretty interesting. And here's a little monument for a lady. It's only my guess that she was executed. I mean, if somebody can read it, you know, and they understand the writing, please let me know in the comments. Here's another side to the prison. You can see up there, that's where the prison would have been. And right in front of me, that's where the cars are that I pointed out, but it's all locked up now. But that would have been a complete place of horror. That is where people would have been executed. And you know, the weird thing is, a lot of locals don't even know about this place. So I'm just kind of like a little bit lost for words at the moment, because you could just kind of get a sense for the sadness and the depression of that place. I mean, it was still in use after World War II, and when you think about it, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, the building's in decay now, but yeah, so much sadness has gone on in a place like that, and hardly anybody knows about it. People have just not learnt about their history, or not wanting to embrace their history, or wanted to deny that they could be responsible for such horrible atrocities, even though it wasn't the local people's fault all the time. It was in some cases. I know that, I don't know if, I know during the World War I area you had the Bolsheviks, and a lot of people accused Jewish people of being Bolsheviks. So then when the Nazis invaded Ukraine, they used it as an excuse to pretty much just wipe out the city, and a lot of them would have been wiped out in that prison way back up in the hill over there. So that was very somber, and I'm back where I started. You can hear the music still, the patriotic songs are going on, but that was a very sad, that was a little bit sad, that visit to that museum, as much as I love history and everything, because it's made me think that all these years later there are still people being held prisoner of war. There's still a lot of suffering going on. There's a lot of suffering going on both sides, on the Russian side and the Ukrainian side. You know, so anyway, God bless all the people that believe in freedom and believe in democracy. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'll see you on the next one.